to do the heart motif for the Love Shrug, but let's take a look at the chart first so you can kind of see. I do have a legend below, and here's the actual diagram of the 8 rows and 16 stitches that are part that the motif is made of. So you will see, I will go through it and explain, so you know what all these things mean. Sometimes it's easier to watch someone do it besides, or rather than, trying to read it and figure it out. So I'm going to keep track of my rows using my Abacus Bracelet, which I created, and it's a really cool tool to be able to keep track of where you are. At least it is for me. I know there's lots of counting tools out there that we've used before, but I like this one. So I'm going to start with this first row, the motif. This is a little swatch I'm making as if I were to start another shrug. This is the sleeve. This would be the first sleeve. So I'm going to go and knit to the place marker, which is where, if I get in front of the camera, that would help. There we are. Which is where this begins. Let's see if you can. There. Kind of tricky to do this while you're trying to see if you're on camera. There we are. So it's slipping my place marker. So here's the 16 stitches in the middle. So we are going to purl the first 2, purl 1, purl 2, and knit the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to knit 2 together. Then we're going to yarn over twice. 1, 2, and then we're going to slip, knit, and pass over that slipped stitch. And knit 4, 2, 3, 4, purl 2, and that's the end of the first row of the heart motif. Okay, so I'm going to say 1 is done. So now I'll purl to that place marker and do the second row. Get my yarn in the right place. There we go. Now, pass the marker. Okay, so now we're ready to do the second row of the heart motif. Okay, so we're going to knit the first 2 and purl 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to purl 2 together, but we're purling them actually through the back loop, so it's kind of a twisted purl 2 together. Instead of purling it in the front, we're going to purl it from the back. So you're going to stick your needle up through the back of those loops and purl that way. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over twice, and then we're going to have that yarn in front, and we're going to like pick up as if we were going to purl. We're just going to pass the yarn with that loop that we made from the previous row. And then we're going to purl 2 together like you normally would, just a regular purl 2 together. Purl 3, 1, 2, 3, and then knit 2. And that's the end of the second row. And then we go ahead and purl to the end of the row. Okay, and then that's my second row. Okay. So now we're going to start our third row. Okay, so let me get to my place marker. Okay, so third row we're going to purl the first two, and then we're going to knit two, then we're going to knit two together just like you normally do. And then you're going to slip again with the yarn in front as part of this whole thing. We're going to slip all those yarn overs off onto the next needle. And so make sure that you get them off the needle there. Now this is going to be a slip, knit, and then pass over that slipped stitch. Then knit two and purl two. And that's the end of the third row. Three. Okay. Fourth row. Let's get to the marker. Pass over the marker. We're going to knit the first two. So we knit the first two, purl one. Then we're going to again purl through those back loops. So if you need to loosen those stitches up a little bit, you can, so that you can get the needle from the back side and purl them. Okay, and now we've got to yarn over twice, 1, 2, and then again we're going to carry all of these yarn overs off. Okay, and then we're going to just simply purl two together like you would normally purl two. Purl one, knit two. That's the end of that. Okay, purl to the end of our row. Okay. Oops. And that's the end of the fourth row. Fifth row. To our marker. Okay, here's our marker. Pass it over. Okay, fifth row, purl two, knit two together. Yarn over once, twice, and again passing all of these babies off there. Now see, there's still some on that needle, get them all off. Boom. And then slip, knit, and pass over the slipped stitch. So you can see the heart's kind of starting to take shape. Purl the last two. And that's the end of the fifth row. Move the marker, there we go, and knit to the end. Okay, so now the sixth row. The sixth row is really the exciting row. That's kind of what pulls it all together. Okay. But there's something that you and I sometimes miss on the sixth row, so I'm going to point it out to you so you can be conscious of it, because it's easy to forget. So go ahead and purl to the marker. Okay, pass over that marker, and here we are. So the first is to knit the first two, 1, 2, and then purl 1. And then we're going to make 4 yarn overs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. And then instead of passing these, now we're going to purl and then knit them together. And this is how you do it. Get your yarn here. You're going to go like you're going to purl all this bunch. So this whole bunch of stitches, we're going to just purl, but before we take it off the needle, I want you to put that yarn behind and then knit it. So we're basically creating 2 stitches on top of all of those yarn overs. So let me back up one more time so you can see what we did here. So there they all are on the needle. And we did 4 yarn overs. Okay, so we knit 2, purled 1, and we did 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we took all of those and purled, but put that yarn in the back and then knit them. So we purled and then knitted them together. Now here's the part that I forget. Oh, and also don't forget you got to slip all those off there. Now this is the part where you need to make 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have an even number on both sides. That's the part that's easy to forget. Loop around 4 times. 4 yarn overs. Then purl 1, knit 2. And then pass your place marker and knit to the end, or sorry, purl to the end. Okay, so that is the big, exciting 6th row of the heart motif. Boom, ba-doom, boom. And we are done with number 6. So now the last 2 rows are pretty easy. You're just going to be picking up and knitting all those stitches that we just created. So let's get to our marker. And purl the first 2 and then just knit to the end. So here's what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we see all of our stitches. That's the one we knit there. Now here's our 4 yarn overs. We're going to knit them through the back of that loop. So there's 1, there's another one, there's a 3rd one, and the 4th one. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and knit the 2 that we used to tie all of those yarn overs together. And again, knitting in the back of the next 4 yarn overs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then knitting that stitch just like it says I should be doing, and purl the 2. And that's the end of the 7th row of the heart motif. And then we are on our last and final row to finish up 1 heart. Okay, so I mark that as 7. Now I'm ready for my 8th. And the 8th row is, again, just knitting the knit stitches and purling the purl stitches. So let's go ahead to the marker. Okay, and now these 2 want to be knit, so I'm going to go ahead and knit them. And these are all going to be purled. You're going to go ahead and keep purling through all the stitches that we added. And then the last 2 are knit. Okay, and then that is the end of the 8th row, and that finishes 1 heart. And so throughout this piece, you're just going to keep repeating those 8 rows as part of that heart motif. So there's my 8th row. So let's just take a look so you can see what it looks like. pretty cool. I really like the design. It's just neat. And the thing is it looks kind of like it looks like a heart at this angle. And then as you go around the other side, upside down, it looks like a spade or even a flame. And so again, here's the finished piece. This sleeve is the second sleeve, so the hearts are upside down. So it's kind of flame, but it's a really, I think it's just a cool accent on this shrug. This yarn is super soft and warm. It's going to be a great addition to my wardrobe this fall and even in the winter. So there is the heart motif. I hope you enjoy the pattern. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.